Hi, thanks a lot. I'm Joey Enough from Critical Metrics. You might remember the Enough name. As it so happens, my brother Ed Enough debuted his company, PostApp, which is currently Widgetbox at the 2006 Connected Innovators, which puts me in a special position of having some advanced tips from Ed on what to do here. His principal piece of advice, knowing me and knowing that I come from suck.com in the 90s, which was not always the most pro-web or happy touchy-feely site in the world, was, Joey, don't be a negative bastard. If you do that, you're very likely to run into some of your competition afterwards, and they're not going to appreciate it. But the reason why I would say that, not just because I might denigrate the competition, is because I have to mention the competition, because the sector that Critical Metrics is in is a very crowded one. It's the music, discovery, recommendations, and search field, which, as we know, is filled to the brim. With a bunch of companies that you guys know, probably use, and maybe even love. There's a bunch of blog aggregators, places like Hype Machine and Elbows. There's genomic filtering like Pandora. There's a lot of collaborative filtering like MyStrands and Last.fm. And of course, there's Apple, which is a big mover in this space. So for us to come into this field at this late stage, we must think that we know something that the rest of them don't know. And we do. We know, and I know, that no matter how much you use any of these digital services, either alone or in combination, the one thing that they're not going to do for you is keep you up to date with all the great new music that's being released today. They can't do it. They can give you a little bit of it. They can tell you some of the stuff that you might like if you like other stuff, but they won't keep you informed with everything. And the reason they can't do that is because it's pretty much impossible. There's very few categories of product that are as plentiful as music. There's thousands of albums get released every month. There are hundreds of thousands of songs get released every year. And nobody has the time to listen to them at all. So you're going to need some kind of solution to narrow down the selection. I can probably explain this best through a thought experiment. If you imagine that you were listening to music not because you just love music and you want to hear all the best new stuff, but you're professionally obligated to keep tabs on everything, genres you like, music that you don't like, or genres that you don't much care for, but it was your job, maybe you won a competition and you were, the guest editor of Rolling Stone for a year. You just had to do it. You would have a real quandary on your hands. There would be no way you could ever listen to all the albums that come out, because as many hundreds of hours of albums get released every day. So what you might do is decide to hear the most of the best. You'd just listen to singles. You'd trawl the entire world for any recommendations of songs. And anything that wasn't explicitly, strongly, highly recommended, you wouldn't even bother with. You would just try to find anything that was rated that people said, listen to this now, download it now, do it today. Now, if you did that, a good question would be, how much music actually is that? And this is actually something that Critical Metrics can answer pretty easily. If you tried to listen to all of the singles or songs that were recommended in the last 30 days by, say, 150 of the most well-known music recommendation sites, you'd actually be having to listen to about 1,000 songs, which is impossible. Nobody in this room has listened to 1,000 songs in the last month, and nobody's going to listen to 1,000 songs next month. Critical Metrics actually makes it plausible for you to do it, because we take that entire world of recommendations and we put it in a useful order. We measure duplicate recommendations. We factor in the circulation and traffic of the recommending sources. We tell you how fresh those recommendations are. We tell you how strong the recommendations are, especially if they're on a quantifiable scale. This means that you can come to our site, come to the home page, and you'll always know whether you're searching just for the last 30 days, or searching for the most recommended songs on Rolling Stone, searching for the most recommended songs on Franz Ferdinand, where to start, why people are saying that you should listen to it, and where you should go to next. But we do a little bit more than that, because just knowing that is not enough. We've also integrated very closely with all the major digital media services out there, Napster, Yahoo Music, Rhapsody, Apple, and all eMusic, all the places that you know and love, so that you can source these things in some kind of economical way. Where the APIs have existed, we use the hell out of those APIs, and where they don't, we've built our own APIs. This means that you can go and find Uncut's list of 500 greatest lost tracks, or Q's 1001 songs you must download, and not only have that list, but move it over to your Rhapsody account, or the 600 songs that Rhapsody has of that list, in just a couple of clicks, which is pretty powerful and a pretty great way to get value out of Rhapsody's service. The reason, part of the validation, part of the reason that we know that we might be on the right course here is the reaction that we've got from some of our peers and some of the players in the music sphere, places like Blender, who said that this website will change your life, or LA Weekly, who last week said that they're tempted to say it's the only site you need to keep track of new music.
Gotta wrap it up.
Sorry. And I would just encourage you to all really use it. You can catch up with new music. You can be that hipster. Use the site today.